Hey everyone, so I'm just going to do a quick video, and today is going to be about the subject matter of like clearing dark energy, or if you're dealing with stagnant energy within yourself, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling like low energy or dark, whether you feel like it's also maybe like chords or whatever it is, where you just know kind of like you don't feel like you're normal, clear, centered self. And especially those of you who are maybe like myself, moms, you feel like you get like really overdone, and you can just feel like something's off. And especially spiritually, like if you're empathic, psychic, intuitive, and you can feel like kind of like that like stuck, exhausted energy. I wanted to kind of chime in on something that I came across for myself, and it might be helpful to those of you, because I've been testing out a few different things. And I apologize if I ramble, and if this video is kind of just more like not planned out. Maybe another person is better for you if you get really like specific on those details. I kind of like to talk when the intuition hits me, and I think it's more natural and to have a conversation. So hopefully for those of you like that, then this is the channel for you, and I want to do more of these. But it was something about like trial and error and really not feeling good after like attempts at cleanses and Reiki and clearings, or hiring people to do clearings, and was getting really frustrated on like wanting to do it myself, and in a way where like I felt a big enough difference. Because I think my target for this session is going to be those of you who are maybe either newer to clearing your energy and being an empath, and or those of you who maybe tried a lot of things and maybe not necessarily everything has worked, and you're kind of just like at your wit's end. Because I've tried a lot of things, and to be honest, I wouldn't really get lasting results, or I wouldn't really feel anything, and I would get frustrated, or if I felt something, it would be from somebody else, and it can get expensive. So I kind of started getting guided to feeling energy centers, and I took courses on Reiki. But this isn't necessarily Reiki. This was just something that I was intuitively guided to that can be used in addition to Reiki, but I felt like it got something bigger for me. And I kind of molded a few different techniques that kind of got me huge energy bursts. And because today I did this also this morning, and my day has just been like phenomenal, that like this was more than like a coincidence. I was seeing a huge improvement. So also, just to let you know, I was also guided to a book around the same time. So I'll give you all the little pieces of that. Don't mind my like ghetto book what do they call it, like place markers or bookmarkers, whatever you want to say. But it was this book that I also came across too, that I will basically tell you a little bit about everything that I came across, that I kind of felt like there was really something there. So for those of you who know like energy clearings and things like that, it's placing your hands over the centers and feeling blockages. And I would do that. Like I took a course on how to do that, and it was like I would kind of feel movement, and I would feel the blocks, and I would feel things shift or whatever, but I still wasn't getting this big improvement. And I started to realize that I started to feel like it was something stronger, something darker. Like, I gotta be honest, it wasn't just like blocked energy. It felt like dark, dense attachment energy, or stagnant energy, or like soul remnant energy from like the house or the environment or the land around me. And I ordered this book, which I feel like it was interesting enough. I ordered this book because I've been really trying to research why I can't maintain a high vibe. And I'm highly empathic, highly intuitive, and I get really drained very easily. And I can't maintain my energies, and I'm very prone to depression. And I've always been like this since a child, and never really understood what was going on. And then I realized that I was very sensitive to spirits and energies around me, and people and places and things. So one thing I realized is, one, for those of you who feel like you're similar and you understand, like you feel this way even though you do work, one, I realized, and this might be super simple, so I'm not downgrading those of you who already know this, so please forgive me if you're already highly on there. One, I wasn't doing it enough. I realized one, I wasn't doing it enough. I was getting very lazy, and I thought, oh, if you kind of do it every so often, I should feel amazing. Well, I have learned the hard way through trial and error that I literally need to clear my energies every single day, multiple times a day. And I clear my son's energies because he's highly empathic, highly intuitive. And the same thing was happening to him. And I started to realize I had to cleanse his energies, teach him how to clear himself, create like an energy ball and imagining all the energies leaving, and do the same to myself. And I wasn't doing it often enough. Like, it sounds really simple, but I realized I really wasn't doing it often enough. And I really wasn't creating strong enough barriers to do it repetitively. And for those of you who feel similar, that might be one of the most easiest things. Well, it sounds easier than it is because a lot of people get busy and they get sidetracked. But one is going to be, you literally like can't skip a day. I was watching somebody and they made this reference. They were like, well, you shower, you do all these things, you brush your teeth every day, multiple times a day. So why wouldn't you need your energy to be cleansed every day, multiple times a day? And I was like, oh, okay, that made sense to me. And once I started putting it more into practice, I could feel the immediate shifts, and that I'd have to be more mindful of what's actually going on. So for those of you who have been dealing with that, that's one thing. If you know techniques, you could just not be doing it all the time, and you actually have to be aware that there is no escape to this. We have to do it every day, especially if you're very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I highly gather other people's energies, and I needed to start creating more of like an energy block. So for those of you who don't know how to do this, I'm gonna create this series where like, there's so many gurus out there. There's so many people who are specialized. But I realized what I want on my channel, and I'm sorry if I'm dragging on. I know some people have a short attention span. But what I want to do is cater to the people who maybe don't know the things that I'm experimenting on, and maybe help them. Maybe I'm not for everybody, where like if you already know everything and you can preach to everybody, then, you know, good for you. I'm kind of targeting more of the people that are like struggling, don't know everything, are still learning and still growing. Could be moms, females, or just, you know, male, females, it doesn't really matter. I kind of think I tend towards moms and females and kids, but that's just because I am one, and, you know, I have that kind of energy. But I'm open to anybody feeling like they get something from anything that I can deliver to them. And that's kind of what I feel like this channel is. So if you feel like you want someone, if you like this kind of dynamic, you know, feel free to follow me. This is more of what I want to engage more and have more of a natural conversation. I can't do the whole perfection thing. My channel is not going to be the most prettiest. I notice that I deal with a lot of self-doubt, and that's something I'm working through. Is like, I feel like I have things that I've learned because I'm anal and I experiment a lot, and I want to share it with people, but then I get in my head of thinking there's so many other people out there that are better than what I do, or how I display, or where I'm at, because I'm a newbie on like social media and YouTube. But for those of you who are understanding of that and kind of don't really need that, then, you know, I'm open to being more of an outlet for those of you who are open to that. For those of you who it's not, then, you know, find the perfect channel that is for you. I'm kind of just like, I joke about like, I'm really like, you know, beautifully controlled chaos or, you know, I kind of like to just be more casual. So that is kind of what I'm trying to do here. But anyway, back to the subject. I'm sorry for the rant. It was kind of more of just like, for those of you who maybe your first time here, or you're chiming in and checking out who I am, I'm trying to be more open on what I'm trying to do here on this channel, because I feel intuitively guided to just be more expressive, and I keep getting signs and synchronicities that I'm supposed to help guide people, and I'm really trying to be more open to the nudges that I'm getting, even though it can sometimes be uncomfortable. But I felt really good today, and I wanted to help people. So again, back to the subject at hand. And again, I'll probably put like timestamps for those of you who just want to skip ahead. I know sometimes, you know, not everybody wants to hear a lot of things, and you're short on time, especially if you're parents. I get that. So, stagnant energy, dark energy, stuck energy, gathering other people's energies, your home, the land. A lot of us don't realize that there's energies already in your home and land, and that can be affecting you, as well as the people and places and things that you come in contact with, especially if you're a newbie on this. And it's like every day I'm realizing that this really is a real thing of needing to cleanse every single day. So one quick step everybody might know this, but is that energy ball. Imagining like a light coming from the heavens, coming down, and using your imagination to imagine everything being cleansed and cleared away off of you and down into like the earth and back up, and you know, just amplifying it. That's one technique that I think most people all know, but for me it wasn't really enough. And why I'm speaking about this is mostly because that basic stuff was like helping, but it wasn't feeling enough. And I was getting sick of being bothered. I was sick of being bombarded. I was sick of feeling like my energy was being drained. Also, energy vampires. I have come across with many, and these are all subjects that I'll probably dive into deeper in another video. Energy vampires, people with, you know, vampiric energy drainers, even when they're not still here. It's like if you've come across them, they would be draining my energy. I would like, I couldn't get them out of my head. I would come across ex-partners, and it was like, especially narcissistic partners and people and controlling people. And it's like, I would constantly feel drained off of my interaction with them. So for those of you who feel like you do some things, I found an extra thing to add to this. Now, I was intuitively guided to this, and then I read this book that touched on a similar subject, so I don't feel like this was a coincidence. Now, I'm not affiliated with this person or this book or these teachings, but I just do think that there's something there that maybe would help you if you feel like you're drawn to this for whatever reason. There could be something there. I don't advocate on this working for everybody. It was something that I've noticed a change, and I think it could help others. So I started getting sick, or I've been struggling with a lot of illnesses that don't have a root cause. And whenever I would get Reiki healings, it would just like disappear, and then it would come back really fast. And I would get a lot of energy swirls in my sacral area, my stomach, my womb area, and I would get a lot of pressure on my head and swirls here, and it felt deliberate, and it felt like my energy was literally being, the word I heard recently that felt like it resonated was like siphoned, like drained. Now, whatever the cause is, you know, I'm not going to go into detail on anything like that, and you know, I want, you know, a level of like keeping boundaries and protection and white light around me in this situation, and asking my angels and guides to create an energetic protection and barrier for those that I put this out for, just because, you know, I have good intentions and I want it to stay that way. I'm not going to dive into everything specifically, but everybody's situation is different, but we deal with a lot of these issues that don't really get talked about. And I'm talking about like darkness that, you know, doesn't really get talked about. I'm not going to dive into that because that's a whole nother subject. I started doing what energy clearings do and like Reiki does, but I started to dig deeper, where like I wasn't just swirling and cleansing the energies in my stomach or in my head or in my body. I literally started to imagine, and you know, trigger warning if you don't want to hear it this way, but it was like I started to imagine what that darkness would look like. I started getting so bombarded and so sick and couldn't sleep. I kept getting like spiritually messed with, and I started to be like, you know what? It almost feels like there's something in these areas, that it's not just like an energy clearing and that's all it was. It literally felt like I had to remove something from these locations. And for some people that might not be, you might not want to believe that, and that's perfectly fine. I was guided to this, and I remember one night I just couldn't stand it anymore. And I was like, I need to try something else. So I was lying there in the middle of the night, and I literally started imagining the darkest, slithering, most deepest icky thing that I could imagine taking space in these areas, and why I couldn't fully cleanse them, and why I was feeling pressure and pain and swirling. And I immediately started like almost like a snake or like an eel. Like I started getting visualizations of what this thing is and what this thing would be and how to really find it and target it. And I literally started getting visions of these dark things in these spaces. And I immediately started being like, I am going to call this, pull it out of me, rip it out of me, and send it to whatever you believe in. I believe in like higher source, light, guiding, healing, loving light, you know, that creates us and connects us. And what, you know, that's going to be different for everybody. But for me, I said I was going to finally rip these things out of me. And I went into like a meditative state of seeing myself pulling these things and ripping them out of me and sending it, commanding it. I would literally be like pointing at it in my visualization in my head of it being sent, and not just like a light thing, like no, demanding. I was like, I am done with this. I am done being like a victim or playing a victim. And I literally started commanding these energies to go to the light and to be cleansed and cleared and transformed into love, and however it was. And I just kept visualizing me pulling all these black things out of me and it being forced. And every time it would try to come back, I would be like, no. And it would just stop and go all the way back up and be cleansed and cleared. And I did this until I either passed out or got exhausted, and or felt like a huge shift. Like I could feel like a residual shift in whatever I was dealing with. And not every time was I able to probably get every single thing, but it felt like, it honestly started to feel like I was tapping into something and chipping away at something. And I remembered the first night I did it, I felt better. Like I think I zonked out because I was having such a bad time and trying to sleep, and it just wasn't working. I just kept being energetically messed with. And that was one of the first nights that I was able to zonk out after it got so bad. And I remembered that I woke up the next day like feeling a little bit of a shift, feeling lighter, feeling like I slept better, feeling like there was something different. And then like I remembered to keep, like I remember, I think I tried to tell myself to keep tackling this. And of course I think I forgot about it, not to do it every day or whatever, but it was something that I got like a download of something and it made a difference. Then I had gotten this book a few days later. And if you guys can see this book is called Setting Spirits Free by Diana Palm. And it says clear negative energy and help ghosts cross over. Now, I'm not claiming that this woman is true to who she is or whatever it is. I don't know. All I know is in this book, she literally started saying things that were similar to what I started doing for myself, but she took it a step further because she started also commanding energies in your household, energies up into the heavens. And she goes in detail into this in her book, and I won't expose her process for it because I feel like that's the purpose of what she does. That's her book and things like that. I'm just going to expose what I intuitively got, and then it lined up with this book. So I don't feel like it is a coincidence that a belief in higher guidance and doing something more than just these residual energy cleanses. It was almost like I needed to imagine exactly what was messing with me and get so dark and get so into the places that I didn't want to be. Probably also like fear-based. Nobody wants to see these creatures. Nobody wants to imagine this is really going on. And I literally had to get into such a state where I was like, no, I need to know what is happening to me. I need to know and stop fearing this, because I think a lot of you out there know what it is when you start knowing, especially from a young age, that you have these gifts or that you have this intuition and that you are easily more susceptible to this because you're so open. I used to shut it down as a kid. I used to be so scared of it as a kid. I used to literally say, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. And I think I blocked myself from uncovering what was really going on because I didn't want to acknowledge. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know. And therefore, I gave it free reign to always mess with me, to always like I used to suffer from night terrors. I used to suffer from sleep paralysis, and it wasn't just a recent thing. Ever since a child, I used to like see energies, see spirits, and get vibes and feel things, sense things, and I was such in a fear-based thing. And I think I gave it so much more power over me, and now I'm in a place where I am ready to like be more in power of myself. And why do I share this with you? Because for those of you who have struggled like I have struggled, it has been such a hard road. It has been such a demanding road. And then to have a child who has had similar symptoms like me, who has started to struggle with feeling energy drained, feeling things around, being aware of things around, and having sight. I think he even has stronger sight than I have at his age. And I try to support him in every way that I can. And I have had to, or not had to, but I've wanted to, and then I guess had to be to help him teach him at an early age the things that I didn't have, that I wish I had, that I wish I had someone who could tell me, because I didn't have anybody around. This wasn't mainstream when I was like a kid. I'm 37. This wasn't mainstream when I was like 8, 9, 10, or even younger, and sitting up in my bed, not able to sleep with the covers over my head because I could sense something was around me. And it's like, now I've been dealing with this for years and years and years, different locations, different places, different people. This also works for like energy cords. I've also seen myself removing cords. I've heard that cutting them is not the best approach. So I see myself removing and pulling and, you know, taking out any stagnant cords, lines, energies, blob, whatever you see around me. I have tried to intuitively tune in and feel it and see the disgusting things that we don't want to see that are around us, that I'm sorry are really more real than we want to realize. I didn't even want to realize it. And I'm sorry if I'm getting really like adamant on this or like speechy on it, just because this has been sitting with me for such a long time, and I've been so nervous to like be myself and be open about it, because not many people want to talk about it. But I'm at a point and place in my time where like I feel like I have been getting stronger, and I think it is something that so many other people need. And down the road, I want to kind of train more in how to like help myself more and help others, especially people those struggling with this and they don't realize, especially kids. I found out that kids are more susceptible than adults because they're so innocent and so open. So I'm probably going to end this soon, and I'm going to do more videos on these subject matters, more videos on people that I've come across, or more videos on things that I've read, or tips and tricks that I have come across. But I'm going to leave you with that for today. If those of you are interested in this book, you know, be mindful that it's on like Amazon or whatever, and you can get it. It was only like $13 or $14 on Amazon. It's not an expensive book. Again, like I said, it's just something that I did on my own before I ever read this book. And then she has tips and ideas that resonate. And even if you don't believe her source or where she got it, or if she's into it, I think we all need to try certain things, and not everybody is gonna vibe with certain things. But this helped me, and maybe there's a way that, you know, those of you out there, it can help you on something that maybe you're struggling with, and realizing that we really need to hone in and meditate and allow to see the things that we don't want to see, and call on our higher guidance, our higher source. The biggest thing I came across also was love. That, sorry, my hair is so in my face. Sorry guys, it was bothering me like crazy. Okay, sorry, I'll stop like fidgeting in a second. But the biggest thing was, I had to learn this also the hard way, was I came across so many references to people, places, and things, and resources that said love. Sending love to all of those, whether you feel like it's spirits, entities, chords, or people, or the environment. It was like the love was the strongest thing to send to yourself and to those locations. And that was also what I did. Once I saw myself taking those things out, I literally felt and asked for, and, you know, felt the divine love. And imagine what that would feel like. Imagine filling up all those spots, all those holes where things were, and filling it up with love, filling it up, those spaces, seeing it fill up with light, shining that light from above and below, and filling my heart space. If you guys know about like quantum touch and things like that, it's like feeling the most amount of feeling that you could feel for love and things like that. And I'll go deeper into that into other videos. But if you guys already know how to do that, you want to also seal it with love. See you filling up with love. See that area healing. Imagine what it would be like if it was healed and whole, and you were whole, and what your vibration would feel like, and what your energy would feel like. And do the same for your kids and the people around you, as long as you ask for their permission or higher guidance permission. And also send love outwards to your house, your energy, and create like a ball of love around you that something cannot permeate. You know, you want to command it and demand it, that it needs to be sent to the love. Anything around you sent to the love, to be cleansed, cleared, and transmuted into love energy. And love the energies that are around you as well. I came across this guy, I mentioned it in another video. His name was like Matthias De Stefano. He's this new guy on Gaia, and he also mentioned about like darkness and things like that, and needing to love, send love outwards, because otherwise it will not go well in the other direction, trying to like combat it and fight it and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna end this here. hopefully those of you find something out of this. And I'm looking to dive into other techniques, other things I've tried. There's a lot of things that I've tried that I'm gonna be posting videos on. And if you want to come along for the journey and things that I experiment with, a lot is in spirituality, healing, self-healing, trauma. That's also a big thing that I'm on, is on a journey for all of this, and things that have kind of helped me on my journey, and wanting to take it further and see what else I can embark upon on this journey. So I hope you have found something interesting in this. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I went on for too long, but I am a big talker. I'm a New Yorker, so that just is gonna be how my videos vibe. And if it's your style, then come join, come stay. I will be doing some more of these. I also do pick a card readings, spiritual, readings and reviews on this channel that I will be doing more of. And it's gonna be a very eclectic, mixed bag, because that's just kind of the chica that I am. So if you like that, come along, you can subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll get notified of things I do in the future. And I honestly wish you all well. If you guys have learned any other tips and tricks, post it, share it, comment below. I would love to know what else has worked for you, and if you have read this book or experienced similar things, and if it's helped you, let me know. I want this to be a shared environment moving forward. So thank you for chiming in. Thank you if you feel called here. I wish you well. I feel for you on your journey, and I hope you all find the peace that you're looking for, even if it just helps you sleep a little bit more at night so you can start healing and start feeling better. That is my purpose here, especially for today and continuing moving forward. Okay, bye everyone. I'll see you next time, and hope you have a beautiful day. See you later. Bye everyone.